for coming today to work on our Trinket trays with these Sharpie creative markers. So I'm really curious if any of you have gotten a chance to purchase these yet. So if you have these markers and you're working with me today, let me know in the chat. I'm here to tell you, I don't work for Sharpie. I do work for Michaels, and no one is paying me to say this, but these new Sharpies are pretty outstanding. So I've always been a Sharpie fan, just the normal permanent marker Sharpies. But I am a rock artist. That sounds cooler than it actually is, but I love painting rocks. I love making kindness rocks and leaving them out in my neighborhood. I love leaving them in little trails in those little books, libraries, different places. I love leaving positive messages, places for people to find and stumble upon, because I like stumbling upon them and finding just the right words at just the right time to really kind of make your day or make you a little bit happier, and brighten someone else's day if you're the one who's making them. So these Trinket trays are pretty easy to make, but they look outstanding. I love the bright colors, and I think that once you start working with these new Sharpie creative markers, you're really going to want them. They're paint pens. They're made of acrylic paint, but they're not like a lot of the other kinds of acrylic and oil paint pens that get kind of gloppy. And when you use it, you have to dab it a lot in order to get the paint flowing. It really flows out really, really well. So I have the bullet tips that I'm going to be using today, but they come in bullet tips and they come in a brush tip. So if you want more of like a calligraphy kind of style, you might want the brush tip. But the bullet points are going to work really well for us today. So these Trinket dishes are great for just keeping track of some different jewelry, some change, some things that you might keys when you drop them in the house kind of thing. And we're actually going to be making these out of terracotta trays that go under a plant. So if you find the terracotta pots at the Michaels store, underneath them or right next to them, they also sell these little trays, and these trays are going to be perfect. So there's like about a 4-inch size, a 5-inch size, and a 6-inch size. So you can go as big or as small as you want for your Trinket tray. And then over here, if we go to my other camera, I'm going to show you another idea I came up with. Right by a lot of the Michaels checkouts, there are a lot of like little wooden pieces. So these are kind of like a little box, and they do have a little hook on it and a little piece of twine for you to hang on the wall. So I took that twine and I took that little hook off to make it lay flat. And then I was able to come up with another tray. So all of these that you're seeing right now, all of my rocks and all of these trays have been made using these Sharpie creative markers. So I'm going to watch, I'm checking out in the chat, and I see a couple people have purchased some, which is cool to see that brush tip. But just to like prove to you just in a very quick way, this is a black piece of cardstock. And if I take the white Sharpie creative marker and kind of write with it, you can tell how opaque it is. So you can't see a lot of that black shining through. It's a really nice covering just with one quick stroke. What's also nice about these is that they dry very quickly. And so you can write over top of them with other colors. And you can just really keep going. And on dark paper and on light paper, they show up really, really well. So I'm a big fan. They just came out. This is brand new. And they've had paint pens before, but nothing ever quite like this one before. So again, Sharpie isn't paying me to say this, but I honestly love these and think that they're really great for all the kindness rocks that I create and for some of these Trinket trays and just all kinds of other little projects. So we're going to focus on the tray today, and then I'll kind of, if there's a spot that I feel like might need to dry for a second while I'm before I go to the next step, then I'll move to a rock and I'll show you kind of some of my techniques of how to get to the rock. So it looks like there's a couple other people who are joining us today who can play along because they already have the markers. If you don't have the markers yet, this video will be available on Monday on our YouTube channel, and you're welcome to watch it from there. So I like a lot of different styles, but some of the styles that I like will always involve like a black line and then a couple of really bright colors. That's usually my style. So this one's a lot more modern, simple kind of figure, kind of geometric. And then this one's a little bit more organic and has some extra details in it. So we'll kind of see what we come up with, but I'm going to start with my black Sharpie Creative marker, and I'm just going to start by making some shapes. So I think I'm going to have like a central focus of a heart, and you can tell how nicely this just glides on this terracotta, which it's hard to get that glide and get that coverage on terracotta with most of the other paint pens. So this is working really well. And right now I'm just kind of giving myself an outline. And I like to think about it almost like a coloring sheet. So these are just some of the random doodles that I like to do all the time. So if I just kind of take some different lines, take some different curves, take some different designs, I'm just going to kind of fill up the space with like a coloring book kind of page. So I'm going to go to this dip in my Trinket tray, and I'm going to highlight that circle by going around it. And then I'm just going to kind of go for it. And this is me freestyling, just adding in some lines, adding in some shapes. I like to kind of mirror images. So when I draw one line, I kind of like to draw that same line parallel to it. But then maybe I want the curve to go in a different direction. And then I might make a couple of those curves in that next direction. And maybe this time I want the lines to be really straight and not curved at all. So maybe I draw a couple of straight lines, or draw a couple of straight lines in a different direction. And I'm just kind of filling the space and making this nice coloring spot for me to go back with my markers and kind of decide my color scheme and make a new design. So I like that I kind of highlighted that heart first, just to kind of give me a little bit of a focal point. But you don't have to do a heart. You can do all shapes, or if you want to purposely draw something or have some kind of stencil, you can do that too. And I'm going to fill up the space with lines and curves going in different directions. Looks like I might need some more lines to kind of balance that top out. I'm going to go with some straighter lines going in this direction. And then I'll give myself some more curves. Maybe another couple straight lines here. And I'm pretty close to filling that space. Over here, I'm going to do, let's see, how about here? And then I am going to go ahead and go up onto this next section, this like lip of the tray. And I am going to continue some line sections up here. And I'm kind of just randomly breaking this into different pieces. Kind of thinking about it like almost like a sunshine with some random squiggles and rays going, just having them a little bit different. I'm not trying to make them all the same. And this is the kind of craft that I love to do on my back porch on a day like today. It's a really sunny day for me here in Dallas, Texas. And this is great crafting weather. Of course, all weather is good crafting weather for me. And then if you want to, you can go back and you can break those into smaller pieces, or you can kind of leave them in the bigger chunks. And then I will go and do a big finishing lip of color. I like to really do a nice solid line at the top just to kind of finish it off. But I'm going to save that until the end, because if I accidentally put my hand on it, I might get some more of the paint pen. So it does dry pretty quickly, but I am going to kind of leave this for a moment and kind of let it dry. And I'm going to move over to a rock, and I'm going to show you some of my rock techniques. So I think one of the rock techniques that I like the best is after I draw something. Oh, cool. I love that. Somebody's holding up some rocks to show us in the chat, in the videos. So I like to draw something and I like to outline it with black and make it really nice and bold. And then just to make it stand out even more, do one line of white around it to kind of almost make it look like it's a sticker and like somebody put a sticker onto my rock. So if you have rocks, in order to do that, this is a really great technique. I'm going to use that same kind of heart that I was using before. And I just drew a pretty simple heart. It doesn't need to be perfect yet. And then I'm going to color it in And you can make this as complicated or as simple as you want. And one of the things I like to do with my rocks is I love to add that outline. So this one says radiate positivity. And I just wrote it in black marker over a painted rock, something that I had already painted. And then just that extra outline of that white around the black really helps to make it be able to stand out. So I'm going to add this red color in. And I can decide if I want to go back and do some good polka dots, but look how well this Sharpie marker is writing on this rock. It's a juicy, juicy marker, and it is doing a good job of covering up all of the rock. And then if I go to the outside with a white around the black, you can tell how that just really elevates my heart one more step, making it even more special. So just that extra addition of having that white line around it, I think makes for a really cool rock. And then I can go back with my black marker and make sure that I like the thickness of the line around the heart. And you can even go over the red one more time if you think you need it to be a little bit darker. But with one coat, it's doing a great job of covering that rock and giving us a really lovely, beautiful rock. So the next big question that I get a lot when I'm doing my rocks is, how do you keep them from being outside and getting messed up? And so my answer to that is I usually use Rust-Oleum. It's a matte clear. You could also get it as a semi-gloss or a gloss. I've tried lots of different sprays, but I think that this one might be one of my favorites because it doesn't get very sticky. And once it dries, it's a little bit shiny if you use a gloss or a semi-gloss. And then I have had friends have my rocks outside of their houses for years, and they're still in pretty good condition. So it keeps it from the UV from yellowing it, and it also keeps the weather, any kind of weather, from messing up your rock also. But just with that real simple pattern of just making a heart and outlining it in white, I really like this rock a lot. So I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to go back to our dish. And yeah, thank you, Chanel, for sharing that link. I do think that these markers are fun. I think you're going to have a really good time with them. Go ahead and treat yourself and get some cool new markers. So in my past life, I was a math teacher. And believe it or not, there is a math theory about, it's a graph theory that you can take any map of any country, United States, any other country, and you only need 4 colors in order to color in the whole entire map without having one color touch on a whole side. They're allowed to touch at like a corner, but they're not allowed to touch a whole entire side. So that theory actually does work. And if you want to know more about that, someday I'll have to do a deep dive with a little math just to make your brain explode. But you can just pick 4 colors that you like, and you can be able to fill up this whole space with just those 4 colors. So you'll notice on this one, this is a good example of that I never have the same color, like a white can't ever touch a white, or a blue has to touch something different. It can't be blue right here, but they can be the same at touching like a corner here. So they can touch at a corner, but they can't touch at a whole side. And just by picking out 4 colors that you like, that's sometimes if I don't know where to start, I'll start with those 4 colors, knowing that I can fill this whole entire space without having to use any more than those 4 colors I decide I like. So I'm not sure what my color scheme is, but I know with my heart I want red. I think I'm going to add in a purple. I think a blue. You know what? I might do them all. I think I might go more than 4 colors. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to go with about 5 different colors. So I'm going to start with the red heart. And I'm just starting to color this in. And color it in as best you can, but don't worry if you're kind of going outside the lines or if you're covering up your black line, because after we've laid down all the color, we'll go back one more time with the black Sharpie to re-outline everything. So I'm going to keep picking some different colors and filling these spaces in. So far I have the red, the purple, and the green. The green is kind of like a minty green, but in some of the larger packs, they have oranges, they have pinks, they have light blues, and other colors in the larger packs. They also have smaller packs of just black and white. And honestly, I could have a good time with just the black and white markers because I use them a lot on my painted rocks. So I'm going to see how far I can get with these colors before I have the same color touch. We'll see if I can do it. And I haven't decided yet if I want white to be a part of my design or if I want white to be able to be used as like accents in each one of these colors. So I'll kind of decide as I go. So yes, I do use the same varnish. And so this Trinket tray, you might be able to tell is a little bit shiny because it does have that varnish. And so I could put something wet in here and it wouldn't mess it up. It's a really nice seal. So you can do that and you could potentially wipe that down with water as well. You're right. Okay, so I can use red over here since it's not touching that heart. I want that one to be yellow. So if you are making with us today, I would love to see what you're doing. So we have an Instagram called Learn with Michaels that we would love for you to share your pictures. You can tag us at Learn with Michaels, or if you want to use a hashtag Learn with Michaels, then we can check out what you're working on. We can see some of your pictures. And you can also see some of my other pictures at my personal Instagram, which is 4M Coleman. And you can see a lot of the different rock collections are on my Instagram. So I just kind of think of all these different phrases that I need to hear, and probably somebody else needs to hear them too. So I usually make the rocks kind of for myself to kind of ground myself and give myself some good positivity. And then it makes me feel even better to put it somewhere so that someone in this world can find it and hopefully it can bring them up too. I don't want to forget about my purple, but I really like how this is going already, just with these 4 or 5 colors. And I am doing just a basic coat. And because these Sharpie Creative markers are so nice and juicy, it's really covering the terracotta color very quickly in just one coat, so you don't have to keep coming back. So we have someone who's playing along with us online who is very into the Taylor Swift album today that dropped. So yes, that is a good use of these markers to make all kinds of fun things. With some of your favorite music lyrics, you can add to your rocks, or if you have any favorite phrases or things that really help you in hard times, you can add them to some rocks. I love having a good calm rock, and literally it just fits perfectly in my hand. And there is something grounding about holding something earthy in your hand that can really settle you down when you're not feeling great. So I love a good calming rock. And sometimes I need to be reminded, calm yourself. So a question in the chat asks, is there a type of material these markers would not work on? And that is a great question. And I know from my own trials that I have used it on rock, I've used it on terracotta, I've used it on paper, and I've used it on wood, and they have all worked really well. So this one is wood, and you can see that it came out really nicely. Also, I had a class last week, if anybody was able to catch it, or you can catch it on YouTube, using dye. So this is RIT dye, and I took a wooden birdhouse and put it into some dye. And then you can take these Sharpie Creatives and you can do some extra detail over top of this. So even with this really strong dye, I can still make a pretty good mark over top of a very dark, very deep dye. So you can imagine that with just an extra layer of 2 of this, it's going to show up really nice. As opposed to a lot, this would normally take a lot of paint and a lot of paint pen in order to settle into that. I haven't tried it on glass or fabric. I have seen people do it on stainless steel tumblers. So I would say that these markers are pretty comparable to Poscas. So things that you've used Poscas for in the past are going to be things that I think you'd be able to do with this as well. So I don't know about glass. I don't know if it would rush back off, but I kind of think it would be okay as long as you're careful not to touch it while you're working. So I'm not positive about that, but that would be an interesting thing to double check. So far my math theory, I'm doing a good job of not touching the same color. Now I did cheat and use an extra color, but still, I feel pretty good about this. I say that and now I'll probably make a mistake, but that's okay. It'll be a new design. So it's a Good Friday to kind of just sit back and enjoy. Hopefully you're crafting and making your own thing, or if you want to just watch, you can just watch. So these paint markers are different from other Sharpie paint markers in that with Poscas and with other Sharpie paint markers and with other brands of paint markers, in order to get the marker to work, you have to prime them, you have to pump them up and down in order to kind of get that paint to start flowing. The difference with these is that you never have to, as soon as you open it, it flows. So it's kind of like a fountain pen as opposed to a ballpoint pen. So it just kind of flows out and it doesn't come out in globs or anything like that, which is nice. Sometimes when you're pumping them or priming them, it might start leaking out some of the sides. That's what some of the problems I've had with other paint markers in the past. But these ones don't have that because they don't have that need to be able to do that when you're to start the ink flowing. Now, one thing it does say on them is that it says to store them horizontally. So I usually keep them once I close it back up. Like it says, store it horizontally. I'm sure that's there for a reason. I don't really know because I wasn't involved in any of the production of this, but I'm sure they have their reason. I'm sure they've tested it. So that would be the best idea, is to do what the manufacturer recommends. The girl with the lightning bolt t-shirt showed some of her work. Aw, Mariana. Yes. So we have some people that are crafting along and showing us. So feel free if you want to, if you've made anything or if you're in a process. If you want to show and tell, we're happy to see. And if anybody's watching on YouTube later, then they can also share at Learn with Michaels or hashtag us at Learn with Michaels. So I think today I'm going to be making this trinket tray, and I did make this rock for you. If there's anything else you want to kind of see me do with these markers, I'd be happy to try it out for you. So a question in the chat says, if you color the outside line, can you put the black lines in darker? Yes. So once I'm done with this, I am going to go back over it with black one more time. And the black will show up over top of the other one. So that is something that's nice about these markers also. If I make a mark and let it dry at least for a little bit, I can go over it with another color and it won't bleed. So I'm just going to let it dry for a second so I don't smear it. But you can go over the color and it does a good job of coloring over it and not letting it see through. It's pretty dark. It's pretty opaque. They are not transparent, which is nice for what we're doing. So that's why they work so well on even dark things like this dark terracotta color. It's not having a problem setting down a really nice set of paint lines, even on this dark surface. And it's a pretty porous surface too, and it's doing a good job. with just one coat so far. If I wanted to make some of these colors stand out, I could wait a little bit and do another coat of the same color. But honestly, I think even this tray that you see here that's pretty bright and vibrant was just one coat. Nice. Thanks for sharing. Okay, I'm just about done with this portion. And the brush tips would be great if you're really into hand lettering. We have some awesome hand lettering classes that happen with Faber-Castell. So if you're into hand lettering, these markers would be amazing for that with the brush tip. Today I'm using the bullet tip, which as you can see is still pretty long. So if I wanted to kind of use more of the side, I could make a pretty thick line. I think if they don't have them already, I think they are coming out with the fine tip one pretty soon too. I'm not sure if those are out yet or not. So I'm going to stop right here with the bottom, and I'm going to show you what I was telling you before, that I can go back over all those black lines. So it looks really nice, but I do just want to clean it up a little bit by going over all the black lines. And then you can see how it's really going to pop. There's a little bit of give to the bullet tip that some of the other paint markers don't have. It's a little bit flexible, which is really nice and keeps that paint flowing out. And I love just going back over these lines and making them the same width and making them a lot more even. I don't have a brush tip with me, so I actually can't show you that one. But if you go onto the Michaels website, they have pictures in the product pages of what the brush tip looks like. And you can also see some of those larger packs and some of the other colors that they have too. I'm using one of the basic packs that came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. And then I also bought a black and white set because I knew I would want to use that black and white all the time. But there are larger sets that have more colors too, if you're really into it. I'm going to clean up a couple more of these. And then I'm going to switch over to a rock. So with my next rock, I'd like to make some sort of phrase. So if someone has a short phrase that they want me to write on this rock, I'll do that. So you can put an idea in the chat if you have a short phrase, a couple of words that you think could fit on this rock, let me know. So somebody asked about painting the rock beforehand. So this rock, I did not paint it at all. I just used the Sharpie Creatives on top of it, and it worked out really well. But generally, I do like to paint the whole rock. So here are some other examples of some of my rocks. So I'll do a base coat of this purple, and I just use a craft paint. So just like Craft Smart paint that we have at Michael's in the aisle, get some paint brushes. I usually take a day and just do a bunch of base coats and do whatever colors I want. And then I'll come back to them the next day and I'll write over top of it. You don't need to wait a whole day, probably just like 20 minutes would be fine. But I do like to give it some time to dry so that when I start writing on it, it doesn't come up. But yeah, so I do like to do a base coat of color using a craft paint. And then I let that sit and then I'll draw on them and then I'll let them dry for a little bit. And then I'll go back with a clear acrylic spray, something like this matte clear, or if you want a semi-gloss or a gloss. So you can tell that some of the rocks that I have, this one's a little bit more glossy. You can kind of see some of that reflection. So I probably used a semi-gloss on this one, but it's nice and it can go outside. It can get some water on it and it's not going to get destroyed. Here's kind of like the reverse where I did white letters with a black outline. Just a good reminder. You'll notice that this base rock is a little bit more colorful. So instead of just doing one color, I kind of did almost like a couple brush strokes with lots of different colors in them to kind of give it a nice, different kind of look. And then sometimes I'll just do a really bright color like this bright green. And then I just add in some extra things like these dots and these lines in order to kind of give it something fun and interesting to go along with it. So somebody's asking about the markers coming in browns and metallics. These are new products, and so chances are they have plans for more. So if you like these and if they become as popular as I think they're going to become, then there's no telling what colors they're going to come up with next, because we know that Sharpie does a good job of coming up with all kinds of colors, and they have really good products. So you just never know what's coming next. I kind of felt like maybe I already saw a metallic, but I could be mistaken. So if you have a saying, I would love for you to put a saying in the chat that you want to see on this white rock, something kind of short. And while I'm waiting for a couple of suggestions of sayings, I'm going to kind of add in some colors so that you can see what happens when I add this. Yes, that's a good one, Diane. And I'm going to bring this up to the top of the lip of this tray. And I will go over the final lip one more time with the black at the end also. So I teach classes on Thursdays and Fridays. And next week I have a class coming up for embroidery. So we're going to embroider on some jeans, pant pockets. You can embroider on felt to make like your own patches to put different places. Or you can do old school and just make a hoop with a really cool pattern too. So we're going to go over some of those basic stitches on how to do some cool embroidery. I would love for you to join me. And on YouTube are the classes I was talking about with that RIT die, where you can see how we did those. Also, yesterday I had a really cool class where we did textured wall art. So we used modeling paste and we used icing combs from cake decorating with paint to kind of make this textured wall art piece that can hang on your wall. So check that out. It's already on YouTube that you can try that out yourself and see if you like it. I know, I am surprised too at what these are able to do. I have tried a lot of different paint pens because I've been painting rocks for probably 6 or 7 years. It has been my go-to pastime for a really long time. And I'm telling you, these are good markers. So they might be taking over soon. So I like how this is adding that extra touch of color, bringing it up on the tray just by adding that next layer. Nice. Kurt added a message too. Thank you, Kurt. And honestly, these markers do great just on paper too. So don't feel like you have to go super fancy. You can just make some really nice cards. You can work on cardstock. They're just really good at a lot of different things. So I hope that you feel comfortable grabbing some, knowing that they're going to be a great way to write on wood, to write on stone, to write on ceramic. And absolutely, I think that these are a good thing for keep some little hands busy also. So I'm going to finish the lip of this off, and then I'm going to paint on the white rock with one of the messages that I'm getting suggestions for. And then I'll come back and do the black lip around it. And that'll be it. So if you have any questions about the markers or about other classes that you're interested in, please let me know in the chat and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. But I'm really happy that you joined me today. Just take some time for yourself and enjoy a nice craft. That's good coverage with just that one layer. So we don't know how long the paint pens would last great. So I've had these and I've done, let's see, I've probably had these for about a month and I've done a lot of rocks. I've done probably 4 trinket trays. I have done some detail on some wood. So I think they're gonna last for a while. I don't feel like they're starting to dry up yet. And like I said, I've been using them off and on for about a month. So I don't think they're gonna dry up too quickly. I do think there's gonna be a pretty nice paint supply in them, but I haven't gotten to the end of them yet. So I can't tell you how long they will last because so far they are still lasting. They're at a pretty comparable price point too to some of the other brands that you may have tried before. So I'm sure you can get a nice sale or have a nice coupon. Um, but I do think that they're going to be a good price point too. That yellow is just really juicy. It's nice for covering this really dark terracotta color. Nice. All right, it's time. I'm moving to my rock and then I'll come back one last time. So I saw something that I liked. I think it was Survive the Struggle. Yes, I like that a lot. So I'm going to pick a color. Let's see, say purple. And I'm just going to start with the basic lettering of the word survive. I like to change up my fonts. So sometimes I'll do cursive, sometimes I'll do print, sometimes I'll do uppercase. So I changed to cursive for this. And then I'm going to do some uppercase. And I've laid myself down the phrase, survive the struggle. And I like to kind of thicken up these letters as I go. And then I'll do a nice outline around it also. So I'm going to go back and kind of make them thicker, add a little bit of texture to that, so that you can read it. If you're walking in a park and you see this one, you can see it far enough away that you know that it's a message for you. So just by kind of going next to each one of these lines, I'm making the letters a lot thicker. I'm not using a lot of pressure. It's really just flowing out very easily. And it doesn't give you that scratchy feeling that a lot of the felt tip markers give you also. It's a really nice, smooth, like a fountain pen more so than like a felt tip pen. And it's okay if my letters are getting a little blurry because I'm going to come back in and I'm going to kind of go over them and outline them. So I'm not using a lot of pressure at all. I'm really just kind of gliding over top of it. And you can tell that it's a nice even amount of paint that's coming out. It's not coming out in globs and I'm not having to shake it or push it up and down in order to get more paint to come out. So it's giving me a really easy surface. to work with and a nice glide with the paint. And I'm just making these letters a little bit thicker here and there. And then I think I'm gonna let this sit for just a second. And I think I'm gonna outline it in either a yellow or a red and see if I like that. If anybody has a preference, if they want to see yellow or red, let me know. Let me just let this sit because I don't want it to bleed. And it doesn't take long, like it's already, I guess I don't need to let it sit. But I'm gonna go with this. So someone's asking, can you put glow paint over the rocks? Yes, I've done that before and I love that. So I think that's a really fun idea. If you make the base of your rock a glow in the dark paint, you can kind of charge them up in the light and then leave them outside. That's a really fun thing to do with kids especially. So here's the yellow. I like these colors together. Good choice. Thanks, Elizabeth. And I'm being careful, but not super careful because I am going to come back through one more time and go over with the purple. So it's kind of almost like making a highlighter around each letter and just kind of outlining it. And you can tell I didn't wait very long at all, and it's not blending. So that is one, I wouldn't call it a downfall, but that is one thing about these is that you can't really mix the colors together. So I don't think I could take a yellow and a red and make an orange, or if you do kind of blend them, I think you would mess up the tips a little bit. So the blending of colors is a little bit different, but I think they're going to have enough different colors for you to pick from that you're not going to need to blend. And plus the coverage is just so good that I don't think that that's going to be a stopping point. So I'll come back and make that look a little bit nicer, but that's looking pretty good so far. And I will go over with the purple one last time. It's a good message for us all. This is also a really fun thing to do with a classroom. So if you have, if you ever volunteer at a school, this is a great activity to do with them, or at a nursing home, or even just a group of friends. If somebody in your friend group needs a little pick-me-up, you can all kind of gather together and make some positive message rocks so that you can remind them. So this is me going over with my purple one more time to kind of smooth that out and make all my lines the same thickness again. So it's covering up that yellow underneath really well. So you can already tell the difference. See this V, how it still has a little bit of that yellow on there. And then when you watch me go over this with the purple, you can't see that yellow anymore. Yeah, I think a nursing home would be cool. And I also think it's nice to drop kindness rocks and friendship rocks at nursing homes, like in their gardens, so that if anybody is going for a walk, they can see a nice message too. I'm going to skip the and go down here to the struggle. Just covering up all of my quick writing before and making it look really nice. Now, before I spray this, I will let it sit for probably at least an hour, just to make sure that I feel like it's good and that the paint isn't going to run when I use my spray. I like that. So then I would take this outside in like an hour and I would spray it down and just cover the whole top of it. It will sometimes kind of drip, and that's okay. And it'll kind of drip towards the bottom. And then after about another day of just letting that acrylic spray settle, usually then the smell has dissipated, any smell might have dissipated, and anything else, and it would be nice and good for you to put out in the sun, and it's not going to fade. Also, it's good to put out, and if it gets a little bit of rain on it, or even a lot of rain, honestly, they've held up really nicely. So I'm gonna do one last bit on my Trinket tray, and then we're gonna call it a day because this has been a really fun class. So the finishing touch for this one is gonna be for me to go around the lip of this to kind of finish that off so that it doesn't have just such a raw edge to it. So I am just gonna use the tip of this and go around. And if I feel like I need to go thicker, I will do that. So I'll do one round and see if I got it or if I need to do any more to catch it all. And I'm kind of turning the tray as I go too. So I see here that I kind of went wild with my blue. So I might want to take the lip of this all the way around so that I can cover that up. So then I think I'm going to go all the way to here. And I'm going to do another line on kind of like the outer part. And I'm using the side of the Sharpie and rotating this around. And then I'll come back and do this part on the top too. So since we're doing trinket trays, you can imagine that you can also decorate pots with this. So if you don't want to go for the tray, if you want to go for the pot and then have a nice Mother's Day gift or something to give to somebody in a nice little plant to go in a homemade painted pot for someone, that would be a lovely gift. And I'm almost back. So I'm going to let this dry and then I'm going to seal it up. And I will take a picture and put it on my Instagram at 4M Coleman. So if you want to check that out later on, you can. And if you want to see some of the other rocks and some of the other stains I've collected, you can do that too. I'm just going in and making sure I don't have any extra spaces that aren't colored yet. And I'm pretty impressed again with these markers and how they're not really bleeding. That's one of the big selling points of these also. Even on the wood, when I did it on the wood, it didn't really crack into the wood. It kind of stayed where I put it, which is really nice. So a question said, when I do a more complicated pattern or picture on a rock, do I draw them in pencil first? You absolutely can with a paint pen like this because the coverage is so dark that you can cover that pencil mark and no one's ever going to see it. But if you use some paint pens that are a little bit more watery or a little bit more translucent, then I don't know if I would sketch something underneath because you might see it. That's it. All right. So this is my Trinket tray. And I'm gonna let this dry and then I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna seal it. This is our rock that just has that little extra outline of white that looks really cute and pops. Here's our Survive the Struggle rock. So if we need to remember that message and hold on to that, we can. Just hold it in your hands and just have some good intentions. We've made all kinds of trinket trays, all kinds of rocks, and just had a really good time today. So I'm so glad that you're able to join me. My name's Meghan Fahey. Feel free to come to any of my classes on Thursdays and Fridays. I'd love to see you again. And until then, I hope that you have a great day. Bye. Thank you for coming.